What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/TalesFromTheCustomer. Alright, this story's called Bad Warranty Repair Policy Catches Up with Large Online Conglomerate. A few years back, I bought a slightly discounted end-of-season ski jacket from a retailer who had a store in the big online conglomerate. Okay, so we're dealing with three vendors here: conglomerate, giant online store; retailer, distributor with online store through the conglomerate, in addition to their own separate online store; and manufacturer, who also has an online store but is mostly a supplier to the larger stores. It's also important to note that the manufacturer has a lifetime warranty on things like zippers. I loved that jacket and had to wait 9 months to wear it, but after I wore it twice, one of the 6 zippers, lots of pockets, broke. I reached out to the manufacturer, super awesome ski apparel that starts with O, who said that because I had purchased it through the retailer, I needed to use their return service to request a repair, but they would be glad to repair it. The retailer said that because it was their store through the conglomerate and not their regular online store, I needed to contact the conglomerate. So I requested a repair from the conglomerate and sent the jacket in. I got notification in my email a few days later that my return had been processed and my credit card was credited what I paid. I flipped! I had searched and waited for months to find that particular jacket, for it to go on sale, waited months to wear it, and now it wasn't even mine anymore. I went back and forth with the manufacturer, retailer, and the conglomerate for a couple of weeks just trying to figure out where my jacket was and how to get it back. It wasn't lost. The conglomerate had returned the jacket to the manufacturer, who made repairs to it, but the conglomerate's policy was to refund the original purchase price, then resell the item to the customer for original purchase price once the repairs were made. Can you imagine if a car dealership pulled that crap? Yeah, we will fix your car, but you have to sell it back to us and then buy it back once it's fixed. By this time, I was ready to tell them get bent and have a local seamstress fix it, but it was repaired by that point, so I just wanted my jacket back. Angry but calm, I explained that I understand how retail and returns work, and that I was absolutely not paying what I had originally paid for a jacket that was now last year's model, and had been damaged and repaired, if for nothing else, for the inconvenience of asking the manufacturer to honor a warranty. Perhaps it was in new condition when I bought it, but since it didn't belong to me anymore due to their policies, it wouldn't make sense for them to charge me new price for a jacket that was last year's model and had been damaged and repaired. I reminded them they wouldn't be able to legally sell it as new to anyone else, and would end up putting it on their outlet store at a deep discount anyway, and that they had a guaranteed purchaser in me. Also, since they had not only sold me a defective jacket, but their return for repair policy was absolute nonsense and caused me a great deal of inconvenience and distress. I told them I would pay fair market value for last year's model of a damaged and repaired jacket of equal value at the time it was new, or they could put it in the outlet store and find a buyer now. I even looked around their outlet store and quoted them a price I thought was reasonable based on similarly priced jackets, something like 50% off for previous year's new models. If they had just sent it in for repair and returned it, I would have been thrilled and been none the wiser, but now they were adding insult to injury. They actually ended up knocking about 20% more off of what I asked, bringing the repurchase price to about 30% of what I originally paid. I wasn't nasty. I was persistent and I stuck to my guns, but I was nice about it. I was very surprised that I asked for something and ended up with more than I had asked. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like absolutely horrible. I'm pretty sure you picked it up by now, but one of my freaking greatest it's just displeasures in life is dealing with customer service. I hate you if you're customer service. I know you're just doing your job. I know you have nothing to do with my problems, okay? But you're a jerk and I don't like you. I'm kidding. I'm nice to customer service people. But I do get pissed off at companies and I don't like talking to customer service people. I just hate it. So for this guy to have gotten done what he had gotten done in this story, is pretty badass in my eyes. Alright, this story's called City Bus Driver Needs to Make Everything into an Argument, Almost Leaves Behind Disabled Passenger. And because some of you have asked, yes, I did make a complaint to the bus company the evening this happened. This specific incident I'm describing in this post happened yesterday evening, 4 months ago. This story is very long, so here is a teal deer summary that I'm skipping over. Anyway, on to the story. Myself and this woman, who's in her 80s I'd guess, get dropped off at the same bus stop, where we'll be connecting to the buses we each need when they arrive. I had been talking to her a little bit before we got off. She was super adorable, had a shower-proof sponge sewn onto her face mask, had a bunch of cool lights, and even a clown horn attached to her walker. She did honk the horn a couple of times while we were on the bus, which was absolutely hilarious. There was no shade at this bus stop. For your information, it was 91 degrees out. No cool breeze, no relief other than an air-conditioned bus. So we're standing there at the bus stop, waiting and waiting and waiting. The elderly woman is standing under the bus kiosk, which isn't cool, but it's not directly in the sun. Her bus pulled up behind the other two buses already parked beside the kiosk. She started to get nervous, told me she was scared the bus wouldn't pull up closer to the kiosk and she'd be left behind. Many of the drivers are great people, but many will leave people behind with disabilities out of pure laziness and unwillingness to accommodate. So her fear was justified based on many bad experiences. Knowing my past experience with this particular driver, who is known for being impatient with people who are disabled, I didn't trust her to eventually pull up closer for this woman. I told my new bus stop buddy that I'd go talk to the driver and would be right back. I tried to prompt the driver to open the bus's front door so we could speak, so I wouldn't have to shout to her from the back of the bus. But she refused to open the door. She saw me, she knew I was there, but just flat out ignored me. Not that signing to someone is particularly easy, but she didn't even gesture to me. Nothing. Just looked at me and turned away like, whatever. So I got on the bus via the back door. I called out to the driver and asked the following. When these other buses are gone, can you please pull up for this woman out here who has the walker? She can't walk this far and needs the ramp. I was shouting because we aren't allowed to get close to the front of the buses, but I wasn't being impolite. This is the driver's response. What do you want me to do? Push the buses forward? So I repeated my question. At first, I thought she might not have heard everything I said. Well, she repeated her snotty response back at me. I never demanded she push any buses forward. I just asked her to pull forward for this woman. It is very, very commonplace for passengers in my city to ask drivers to do this, to inform drivers of people who need assistance. There was nothing strange or wrong about what I was doing in this situation. So I said to her, when these buses leave, will you pull forward to her? Now I was mad. Politeness gone. I tried, but all she wanted to do was argue. I get it. Driving the bus is hard work. It's tiring. Rude people ride these buses all day and are nasty to the drivers for no reason. It was a hot day. Doesn't give her the right to behave like that. She was dead silent. I went back to the woman, told her the honest truth about what happened, and that I would stay with her to make sure she was on a bus. She was thankful. She did defend the bus driver a bit because, like I said, driving these buses is hard work. Nothing wrong with her thoughts on that. Well, these other buses leave, and this driver seriously pulls away from the stop, but almost as if she was changing her mind, she pulled back along the kiosk. I did have my phone in my hand, so she might have thought I was going to call the bus company, which I would have done if she didn't stop to let this woman on. So she opens the bus door, and the woman tells the driver that she needs the ramp, after I already told her twice about the ramp. The ramp, as it starts to unfold, whacks into a pillar holding up the kiosk and gets stuck. The woman and I both say to her to just back the bus up a couple of inches and it'll be fine. She refuses. The driver gets up, goes to the ramp, and tries to wrench it toward her. It won't budge, and gets even more stuck than before. While this is going on, my bus arrives. I had to go, and I knew that this goofball driver couldn't leave with the ramp stuck, so I bid my new bus stop buddy farewell and said I hoped everything worked out, and I got on my bus. Well, don't you know, the driver comes to talk to the driver of my bus and asks him for help because she's still stuck. He tells her to back the bus up. She refuses and begins arguing with him about how it won't work. Why did you ask him for help then? He gets off the bus, goes to help her, which is him telling her multiple times to back up until she finally does. I literally got off the bus to hear all of this, partly because I wanted to know what was going on, and I was still worried about this woman. Finally, this idiot of a bus driver concedes and agrees to back the bus up. Takes all of a few seconds, and hooray! The ramp is no longer stuck. All of that commotion and arguing because she didn't want to do some very, very, very simple things. In the end, the woman got on fine. No idea what happened to her after that, but I'll definitely ask her next time I see her. That would be so nice. Follow up, hell yeah, I'll check. Probably not, I won't remember. But that was very nice of you, OP, to go out of your way to make sure that this woman got on safely. Very sweet of you. This story's called Scheduling an Orthodontist Appointment with a Rude Staff Lady. Some backstory about the situation. Over the course of 10 years, I've had consultations about my lower jaw about 4 to 5 times, but never went anywhere since I was a minor back then and my parents didn't want to do it. I called my orthodontist office to schedule a, hopefully, final consultation to talk more in depth about what I can do to fix my jaw since I've been more serious about getting it done. At first, everything was going all right until the person scheduling my appointment started asking for more details about my situation. I told her I wanted a consultation for my lower jaw, but she asked for more details. That doesn't tell me anything. You need to give me more info, in a stern voice. Okay, no problem, I thought. However, I got the feeling that she was sort of annoyed. Anyway, I told her what I needed to be done and that I was a prior patient because I thought that she needed it to schedule the appointment. I guess I was a special case or something because she then commented, "Oh, so you're that patient that's been coming here like 100 times but never went through with any of those consultations." Okay. I guess I stuck out to every single one of those staff, that they somehow remembered me out of all patients that they have. I just laughed it off, since maybe she was just trying to joke around, but I realized that she was kind of rude as she started asking more questions. Are you finally going to get that surgery or what? I'd like to ask him about it in more detail since it's been a while. Find out whether it can be covered by insurance and if it got worse. Ish inserts comment about how this has been the same thing since 2009. At that point, I stopped laughing at the stuff she was saying because I wasn't feeling her personality at all. She asked me more info about insurance, and when we finally got to the dentist information, I told her that I forgot the person who gave me a brace consultation. Still a dentist, but not my usual one. Still works at the same office, but was recently employed. Yes, I know I'm a dum-dum, so this might have been on me, but told her where they worked at. That doesn't really tell me anything. I know that might not have been helpful, so I can see why she might have responded this way. Afterward, everything else went normally, but the conversation left a very sour taste in my mouth. I get that I've had plenty of opportunities to do something about my jaw, but my parents wouldn't let me at the time. Over the last 3 years, I never had the time due to non-stop college. Honestly, if the orthodontist wasn't so great, I would have straight up canceled my appointment and found another one. However, I don't really know any other skilled orthodontist besides him. A part of me is saying that I'm taking it too personally. Maybe I'm just too sensitive and that I brought this onto myself. No, that just wasn't very nice of her. Like, she obviously just doesn't realize the seriousness and the kind of thought that goes into having a surgery or anything like that, especially when it's that big of an investment because, well, first of all, surgery is just expensive regardless, but especially if you're doing anything with your jaw or teeth or anything orthodontics related, expensive. So, yes, a freaking person that was a kid 10 years ago might take a minute to actually get a surgery done if their parents aren't going to do it. But god damn, being that hostile is not how you get a new customer. Stupid people. Stupid people. I'm not that mad. I'm just energized at 1 in the morning. This story's called It's the Small Things That Count. This happened about a week ago. I had just gotten off of work and wanted a snack to tide me over while I ran errands. So I stopped at a large fast food chain for some fries. It was just after 5, so the drive-thru line was literally wrapped around the building. And since I just wanted fries, I decided to park and walk inside to pick some up. I was the only customer in the building. The transaction went as normal. The cashier was so busy that he left before giving me my receipt, so I awkwardly shuffled to the waiting area. And about 10 seconds later, a lady came by to the pickup counter and handed me my fries. "He wanted me to tell you that you might find a secret nugget in there," she said. "Oh, thank you," I replied. I went back to my car and pulled the fries out. It didn't really look like there was anything different about them at first, but as I ate, I slowly uncovered the bonus chicken nugget at the bottom of the container. I bit into it and was met with a spiciness that I wasn't expecting. I hadn't tried their spicy nuggets before, but it was actually the perfect level of spice, and I'm totally ordering those from now on. I know it's not a big story, but it really made my night. I hadn't even thought about it from their perspective. They're super slammed, and then this customer walks in and doesn't take up space in the drive-thru. They're wearing a mask and aren't rude, and they have the easiest order in the world. All he had to do was shove fries in a container and move on, but he went the extra step to show his gratitude, and I don't even have my receipt to give him a positive review, without mentioning the free food, of course. Maybe that's why he didn't give it to me. Oh shoot! Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. People can get in trouble for giving free food. But it's nice because, a lot of the time if you give it to the right person, they will come back and appreciate it more, and, you'll have reliable business with that person. But, be careful because you will get choosing beggars. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.